Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. I'll give you the latest news as it pertains to the country, the economy, as well as our money. Welcome to our channel, everyone. My name is Dr. Chhoda. This right here is a little bit of information about me. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. I encourage you to check out my introductory video. I will teach you how I was able to overcome the cycle of poverty that you see on your screen right now. Let's start with this unbelievable audio message from Congressman Chip Roy, who's a Republican from Texas. He basically says in a closed doors meeting that the job of the Republican Party should be to pretty much block everything that's possible and slow down all the legislation that can possibly occur in the next 18 months, not to vote for anything in the House of Representatives, and essentially asking for 18 more months of chaos and the inability to get stuff done. Not my words. 18 more months of chaos and the inability to get stuff done. This is unbelievable. Let's listen to this tape of Congressman Chip Roy, the Republican from Texas. Let's watch.
I mean, honestly, right now, for the next 18 months, our job is to do everything we can to slow all of that down to get to December of 2022. Well, I don't vote for anything in the House of Representatives right now. I actually say, thank you, Lord, 18 more months of chaos confusion and the inability to get stuff done. That's what we want.
In the meantime, in some astonishing reporting from the Washington Post, former President Trump says, I quote, "There was no reason for an officer to shoot the rioter who stormed the Capitol building on the 6th of January. We're talking about Ashley Babbitt. Now, folks, it's very interesting that Trump would talk about Ashley Babbitt, but he would not talk about and he would not recognize the officers who were slain as a direct result of the horrific incident on the 6th of January. Here's a tweet from Jonathan Martin, who used to work with the New York Times. He writes this, not the main point, but Trump embrace of Babbitt doubles as a concession that, contra the delusions of some, the 1-6 mob was his people. You know, if that were on the other side, the person that did the shooting would be strung and hung. That is exactly what Trump said. Now, let's move on to slightly more normal matters. Let's take a look at the President of the United States talking about the importance of more education, higher education for our fellow Americans. He says, I quote, "Does anybody think in the 21st century, with the changes taking place in technology and across the board, that 12 years of education is enough to be able to live a middle-class life? I don't think so." I agree with the president. Let's roll the tape and hear from the President of the United States. Let's watch.
The Build Back Better plan agenda starts with education. You know, one of the reasons why we were the leading country in the world for so long and still on the edges is because we're the first industrial nation in the world to allow 12 years of free education back at the turn of the 20th century. But everybody's caught up. At the time they were debating what should be education in America, the argument was there should be 12 years of free education. And that's what got us ahead. That's what had us leap ahead of the rest of the world. But as I said, today everybody's caught up. Does anybody think in the 21st century, with the change that's taking place in technology and across the board, that 12 years of education is enough to be able to live a middle-class life? I don't think so. And so the fact of the matter is, I've decided we should have a minimum of 14 years of education. 14 years of education, which I'll explain in a second. You know, as the First Lady, I'm Jill Biden's husband, but as Jill would say, and she's a full-time community college professor while being the First Lady, she often says any nation that out-educates us is going to out-compete us. Any nation that out-educates us is going to out-compete us. That's why I want to guarantee an additional 4 years of public education for every person in America, starting with providing 2 years of universal, high-quality preschool for 3- and 4-year-olds, building on what the governor has been doing here in Illinois.
And if you thought that was interesting, take a look at these comments from the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, who basically says, hey, you're going to get a lot more money thanks to the American Rescue Plan, but I didn't vote for it. Not a single member of my party voted for it, but you're going to get a lot more money. Cities and counties in Kentucky will get close to $700 or $800 million. And if you add up the total amount that will come into our state, he says $4 billion. That's twice what we sent in last year. This is the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, basically saying, hey, there's going to be a ton of money coming into the state, because what the Senate Minority Leader is doing is saying, hey, we're getting more money, but on the other hand, openly criticizing the American Rescue Plan. Pretty incredible. In fact, the President of the United States said this, I quote, "Look it up, man. He's bragging about it in Kentucky. He loves our programs. Let's roll the tape and watch the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell.
So you're going to get a lot more money. Well, it passed on a straight party line vote. Not a single member of my party voted for it. So you're going to get a lot more money. I didn't vote for it, but you're going to get a lot more money. Cities and counties in Kentucky will get close to $700 or $800 million. If you add up the total amount that will come into our state, $4 billion, that's twice what we sent in last year.
Now, if you thought that was one thing that was unique, what the Democrats are doing is actually using this as an ad. Yep, believe it or not, they're actually using this segment as an ad. Let's roll the tape and check out this ad from the Biden-Harris administration using Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's own words against him.
So you're going to get a lot more money. I didn't vote for it, but you're going to get a lot more money.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Speaking of words used against Republicans, looks like Republicans have literally no idea what critical race theory is because different Republicans say different things. Folks, you've heard me talk about this. Politics is about timing, opportunity. It's about tribalism, and it's about perception. It's all about us against them, and it's all about blaming the other side. And that is how nasty our politics has become. Let's take a look at these Republicans talking about critical race theory, and I want you to judge if they even know what they're talking about or if there's a common consensus about what critical race theory is. Let's roll the tape and watch.
You're hearing a lot about critical race theory. So what is it? This is
teaching kids to hate their country.
Teaches that America is totally screwed.
Critical race theory teaches children as young as kindergarten to be ashamed of their skin color,
which is nothing more than modern day racism.
Replacing the racism of the past with the racism of the critical race theory.
Ahistorical claims about our nation's origin.
Says the United States is rotten to its core.
Indoctrinating children.
you're either an oppressor or a victim.
And dumb as a bag of hair.
Speaking of rolling the tape, someone who's very good in front of the camera and knows exactly what to say. In fact, if you say it long enough, hard enough, often enough, people will start to believe it. Mark my words, folks, these are important words. If you say it long enough, hard enough, often enough, people will start to believe it. And guess what? These are not my words. These are the words of Trump. Let's roll the tape and hear from Trump as you'll come to understand how all the lies, all the shenanigans, when repeated over and over and over and over again, condition people to believe it as if it were the truth, because the truth is indeed a matter of perception. In fact, the Filipino dictator, Imelda Marcos, actually said the truth is not real, the truth is just perception. Let's roll the tape and hear from Trump as he says, if you say it long enough, hard enough, often enough, people will start to believe it. Let's watch.
If you say it long enough, hard enough, often enough, people will start to believe it. That's what happened with Russia. That's what happened with Ukraine. That's what happened with, well, the worst is when they don't say it, like the laptop from hell.
And if you thought that was interesting, here's a tweet from the Associated Press. Former President Donald Trump is expected to announce a class action lawsuit against Facebook, Twitter, and Google. Trump will serve as the lead plaintiff in the suit, claiming he has been wrongfully censured by the companies, according to a source who spoke with the Associated Press. And here's a response from the Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger. He says this simply, just a sad little man. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I want you to know that I work hard on this channel every single day to bring you the latest news, because for me, this channel is a labor of love. For me, it's not about views. It's not about clicks. That's why I don't bring you any hypey news about the fourth stimulus check over and over again. I simply want you to know what's going on in the country, the economy, as well as our money, because I have a lot of respect for our viewers. I really genuinely care for our viewers, and you can judge that based on the content on our channel and based on the consistency with which me and my team produce content on this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. That is your vote of support, not only in me, but also in my awesome video production team of Joseph and Jeanette. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.